Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. All right, guys, so listen. Halloween is quickly approaching. Now, I think I've mentioned this before. I am not a Halloween crafter. I don't craft much for that holiday. I do take Josh out trick-or-treating, trunk-or-treating. We live in a rural area, so we ain't doing the door-to-door. Mommy's not doing that, okay? Anyways, so no, I don't spend a lot of my creative juices crafting together cute little things, only because I already have, obligations to, kind of come up with cute stuff for other things, like homeschool groups, our Sunday school classes, baseball teams. That's enough, okay? So that being said, I figured this year I could try and multitask, if you will, my project. So what I have before you is a design team project from Pleasant Creations. Now what Liz has created is a digital download. It's called a Junk Journal Ephemera Halloween Guest Check digital download. That's the title of the Etsy listing. And in the Etsy listing, there are 30 different images, including these cute little guest checks, which have, and let me just show you what's on them. Let me just bring one up close. Okay, so on here, what you see is, it says zombie. Today's special eyeball casserole with crushed bone toppings, $4.99. Now, because Liz has her own aesthetic, she has, creepy with cute, which is kind of, if you go back to my last year's Halloween DIY, you'll see that's pretty much my aesthetic for Halloween too, cute and creepy. So when I put together, well, let me just fast forward over to what I made. Okay, so here's what I came up with, guys. I figured treat bags, pouches, whatever, So here's what I did. Taking one of the black envelopes, it's a standard size envelope, much like this white one, so you can use white, black, whatever color you have. What I did was I cut off about 2 inches. So let's see, I cut off about 3 inches off of it. I literally took a top, a circular top off of something. I can't even remember what it was. Laid it down on top of here, traced it, and cut it out from there, just to create the notched effect. And inside this pouch is this salted caramel hot cocoa and these cute, oh Lord, is it coming out? Little peeps, the marshmallow ghosts. And this came out of this pack. So what I had to do was, and make sure if you plan on doing this, that you get you some gloves, because you don't, I know how I am, but you just want to reduce the level of germs being spread, this time of year. It's flu season. Hey, it is. So anyways, I repackaged these in these cellophane bags. I don't know if they're cellophane. I think they're cellophane bags. Yeah, cellophane bags that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And I use these a lot for craft fairs. Anyways, and just tape the back, slid that in here, put that in there, and then I think I'm going to try and find a sucker that can coordinate, the flavor, something like see that salted caramel, something like maybe an apple, a caramel apple sucker. That was actually my favorite when I was pregnant with Josh. I could not get, I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat a thing. Well, I could eat anything I wanted to, but nothing would stay down. So for 7.5 months, that was That was my life. Josh came out huge because he grew off of my fat supply, which, I'm a woman, we have plenty of it. But I withered away. But I survived off of caramel apple suckers. I kid you not. I kid you not. To the point where there was one time where I was leaving my sister's school. I had stopped by to drop her off something that I made, or something like that. Anyways, I dropped by her school, and on my way going back home, I had stopped to get some gas. And in the gas station, they had, how they have the suckers there in a box, the display box. I asked if I could buy the whole box. And then I asked him when he'd have another shipment. Okay. And the funny thing was that probably a year after Josh was born, I was going through the diaper bags, his diaper bag. I was getting ready to donate it or something like that, and I saw one of those caramel apple suckers stuck out in there, and I was thinking to myself, boy, did that bring back some memories. I literally lived off those. But I digress, people. I know you love to hear about my past, really. But anyways, so that's probably what I'm going to add in here, is like a caramel apple sucker, because salted caramel and apple and marshmallow. Oh, okay, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, so that one is made out of an envelope. And what I just did was I printed off Liz's guest checks on regular printer paper, not cardstock, because I knew that whatever it went on, I would need for it to be able to bend. Now, if I was making a card out of it, or if it was going on something like a journal, then I would have printed it on cardstock just to make it a little bit more sturdy. But because I knew that it would be going into something that would need to be flexible, I printed it on printer paper. So I printed it. I tore the edges just to give it the distressed look without actually having to do too much work. Actually, I probably ripped that with the ruler. For this one, I just used some black and white washi tape. And because I wasn't really sure who was going to get these. Wasn't sure at the time, still ain't sure. I went on ahead and used one. Listen, when I get finished with the holidays, I just throw everything into a bag and shove it off into the holiday box for that season, whether it's fall or Christmas or whatever. But the fall theme seems to have a lot more, because you've got fall, Halloween, and Thanksgiving. So anyways, enough about my organizational skills. So anyways, I grabbed a tag from last year that I made last year, popped it on here, added a little bit of orange ribbon. That's what we call it. We do call it ribbon. And I just added some, I cut out some white cardstock and distress inked the side of that. I also inked the edges of this guest check. Then I added that cute little pom-pom on there just to add some more interest. And I think that's a cute little pouch. Yeah, and that's that. That's good enough. So if this is something that I plan to give to one of the teens who volunteers, and are one of the youth, I should say. That's what they're considered. They're considered youth. One of the youth that volunteers in our Sunday school classes. This will be perfect. Now the second one I made, and I'm not gonna keep you much longer because it's not that serious. I'll be honest. I simply made this out of a sheet of paper. So I'm just giving you options here so that, if you want to, her downloads are very inexpensive. You can get, and once you download them, you can print them as often as you want, I've got to think about a baseball team because I've got snacks on a week before Halloween. I've got to think about my Sunday school classes. I've also got to consider my volunteers, the youth as well as the adults. And I also need to consider some treat bags for the kids who stay in the battered women's shelter. So when I'm thinking about creating, I'm trying to cover as much ground as possible. So with as little expense as I can. And this digital definitely helps, because it also comes, so you have this size guest check, and then you also have I want to say 6 or 12 smaller size ones, so you can actually make cards out of them, or small treat bags. And then there's some blank labels. I think there's, it has like the same look on here, like it's a distress. You see how it's discolored? It's a different color. Okay, so it's cute little collection. So anyways, getting back to the bag, the treat bag. So all I did folks, was took this, folded it like that, made sure I had enough that overlapped, you see, and then, this is not rocket science. I know all of you have been here, and if you haven't, I'm happy to share this with you. And I just took the bottom, folded up, I cut the edge away, just cut the outside flaps away. And you just cut that base part off on an angle. It just helps with getting it to fold. I'm doing this real quick and on the fly for you folks. And then you glue it. You glue here, a little bead of glue down there. And then what I did was I took some scissors and cut the edge. Now, because this is Halloween, you don't have to use scissors. You can simply tear the edge. You can just, wrinkle it up, whatever. It's quite a few things you can get away with, because it's Halloween and it's not supposed to be cute and tidy. It's supposed to be a little grungy and spooky and creepy. So anyways, so that's what I did for that, to make that. And then I also took some Distress ink, inked around the edges, added some black construction paper along the side, a felt sticker from the Dollar Tree from last year. I slid these picks, candy corn picks, in there, and I made sure to glue it, reinforce it with some glue, and then just pulled out some scrap papers from out of my my scrap box and added the washi. And lastly, I just splattered a little bit of black ink on there. So this video is a little bit longer than I intended it to be, but for the sake of helping you to, if you are like me and you have, you're responsible for, providing treats for the masses, and you don't necessarily want to utilize your creative juices for this, because you got junk journals and jewelry and cards and other stuff you really want to make. Grab Liz's kit from off of pleasantcreations.com. You'll find a link below, and let her know that fam sent you from Livie's Lovelies. And if you liked this video, if this is something you think is a great idea, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, it's probably because it's Halloween. It's not my fault. It's not. But I'm a mom, and we got to participate in every holiday that's on the calendar. So, nevertheless, guys, until we're back here again on YouTube, stay encouraged, stay blessed, and stay creative and crafty. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.